from our enemies. How much clay land must we have in order to make bricks to start building houses? How much forest land must we have to cut down the trees and make wood to build homes? And we have to have land, and there is no compromising this.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. But the word economics comes from the Greek oikonomikos, but it has come to be defined as the science of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, or the material welfare of humanity. Now, a blueprint is something defined that acts as a plan, a model, or something providing guidance. An economic blueprint is exactly what we need.
1, 2,
3. Doctor, you in the house? Lawyer, you in the house? Teacher, you in the house? Preacher, you in the house? Tell me something. If you don't eat well, how long will you practice law? If you don't eat well, you become the patient, doctor. So don't look down on a farmer, look up to a farmer, because today it will be us farming our own land, producing our own food that will save our lives. Hurts me to travel and see us so dependent on others for the basic necessities of life, when the richness of our land is there to produce all that we need and then some.
We're getting ready to do a little walk. Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The truth must be recognized by the black man. We are an international people. Our brothers and sisters are all over the world, desirous of doing business with us. But if we are not producing anything, we can't enter into trade and commerce with the nations of the earth. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in Message to a Black Man, quote, as a people, we must become producers and not remain consumers and employees. We must be able to extract raw materials from the earth and manufacture them into something useful for ourselves. This would create jobs in production. We must remember that without land, there is no production, and the surplus of what we produce, we would sell. This would help develop a field of commerce and trade as other free and independent people whose population is less than that of our so-called Negroes. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
We're talking about revolution because that's the era that you're caught in. You're caught in a revolutionary era.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad outlined some basic principles. Number 1, recognize the necessity for unity and group operation. Do you understand that if we can work together as a group in unity, we will be more successful, more powerful, more able to do the things that as individuals working by ourselves we have never been able to do. Pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and operate. Keep in mind that jealousy destroys from within. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. Now, these are things that we must do. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to commit to save 5 cents a day. He said if we can save just 5 cents a day from our wages, 25 cents a week for 52 weeks in the year, that would mean we would put aside $13 a year that we could save in a national savings treasury. At that time that he wrote this, we numbered 22 million people and approximately 5 million were wage earners. Well, if 5 million wage earners save $13 a year, this would mean 65 million saved out of our wages in 1 year at the rate of 25 cents per week. It would be painless. Today, brothers and sisters, don't you think we can do better than what we were asked to do 48 years ago? According to government statistics, there are a little over 16 million blacks employed at some level. Well, look what happens if we raise the economic bar and contribute the same nickel a day. The truth must be recognized by the black man.
Defending black women and black children and black babies and black men.
Greetings, listeners. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad. And I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning. And in a short while from now, I will open up the telephone lines and take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. You can also send text messages and WhatsApp messages directly to me on 332-0214. Of course, our landline is also open, 622-3303. All right, beloved family, of course, we're living in very interesting times as we see the global protests over the murder of George Floyd by the white racist police officers is now going into day number 18. And this has taken a number of different turns globally. And there's one particular angle of this that I want to look at. But one thing I want to bring to our attention is, how we must, as a black community, handle the diversity of our views and opinions. There are those among us who are wired to always have a contrary opinion towards anything progressive coming out of our community. Now, we expect that from some. And, on Monday, inshallah, on the Black Agenda, my topic is Black Lives Matter, but what about the black on black killing? What about when we kill our own people? What about when it's us against us? And the value of those lives. Now, I have a number of perspectives to share on that. And we're going to go into that with some depth on Monday, God willing. But one thing that I want to bring to our attention, and this is something that we have to decode. Now, it's my intention to do an editorial at 8 o'clock, a very short one, inshallah, because there's one potent idea that I want to share at 8 o'clock. Who knows, it might come out now, but I really want to share it at 8 and not now. But, what I want to bring to our attention is the coded language. The coded language. And when I say coded language, it started with All Lives Matter. So, of course, we say Black Lives Matter, and there are those who say All Lives Matter only because, for no other reason than the fact that we say Black Lives Matter. All right, so we've passed that phase. And a number of local whites, local Syrians, local East Indians have figured that making statements like that can be collectively offensive against African people. All right, so they apologize for whatever motive, I cannot presume. But there's this widely held view that many of these apologies came simply because it might have been bad for business. All right. But now that phase is gone, no one's saying All Lives Matter anymore, except, some really bold ones. But there's further coded language where certain people are trying to throw in other ideas. And one of the things that they're throwing at us are, one, some really peculiar historical inaccuracies. Some very awkward historical inaccuracies. But this talk about Africans sold other Africans into slavery, it is repeated, it's recycled, it's regurgitated, but it's also over-exaggerated. I'll probably deal with that one more on Monday, but there are these little nuggets of ammunition that they throw at us to try to break our spirit collectively as an African community. And not that they care so much, but they're throwing these darts to try to lay blame at our own feet for all of our problems, and to remove any kind of culpability whatsoever from an outside external force, which is what was responsible for setting these problems in motion in the first place. It's our responsibility to get ourselves out of whatever challenges that we are in. Let me make that clear. But it does not remove the culpability that others have. And one direction that this entire global anti-racism protest has taken is an educational one, particularly in England, when it comes to the removal of statues and the renaming of institutions that were named after racist historical figures. So there's a huge, right now, the government in England is, one, they've made a decision to actually remove some statues of racist figures. The government of the United Kingdom have taken a decision, okay, yes, we agree. This whole Black Lives Matter movement, they're calling for the removal of certain historically racist figures. All right, yes, we agree that some of them should be removed, just as many are agreeing with the removal of statues of Christopher Columbus, probably the most universally condemned one. But others they're holding on to, like Winston Churchill, because the statue of Winston Churchill was defiled about 2 or 3 weeks ago in London for one of the first protest demonstrations that they had out there. And so people are saying, but you cannot rewrite history. You cannot change the history. Of course, we agree. You cannot rewrite the history and you cannot change the history. But what you can do is readjust the way that history is presented. Because if a man was a mass murderer yesterday and you declare him a hero today, we're not changing the history of what he did yesterday, but we are passing on a different narrative to the next generation, saying this is not someone who we should be glorifying or celebrating. And so the first statue that came down was that of Edward Colston. Edward Colston was an English member of Parliament who was also a businessman. And he was into the business of trafficking slaves, enslaved Africans. And he did all of this and then donated some money to education. He was a major figure in the Royal Africa Trading Company, which Dr. Eric Williams wrote about. Dr. Eric Williams in Capitalism and Slavery explained to us that this slave trading company was incorporated as a business in the year 1663. And they were registered for a period to do business for 1,000 years, up to the year 2,663, which none of us will live to see. Dr. Eric Williams pointed this out to us. Our first prime minister brought us into the consciousness that these people had a long-term, long-range objective. They had a vision and a mission to enslave us for at least 1,000 years. And so this particular individual, Edward Colston, he, through his particular business, was responsible for the transporting of 84,000 African men, women, and children whom he had traded as slaves. 84,000. And out of that 84,000, his records showed that 19,000 of them died. Now, George Floyd, whose killing sparked off this global anti-racism protest. And George Floyd was one black man who died while in the custody of the police. Edward Colston had 19,000 Africans die within his custody. And with all, imagine how much money you would make from trading 84,000 people. And this man is erected on a statue. So the people ripped the statue down on June the 7th. And then 2 days later, on June the 9th, the mayor of London and the local government council in London took a decision to remove another statue. So the people took down the first one, but the local government authorities took down the statue of Robert Milligan, who was a prominent Scottish slave trader and slave ship owner. They just had him down as a businessman. But Robert Milligan, in his plantation in Jamaica, owned 526 enslaved Africans. 526. And so they decided, look, we're not going to wait for no debate, no petition, no signature campaign. We, the local government of the City of London, we shall take down this statue. And they did. And then now, a number of other statues were under consideration, but they refused, of course, to take down the statue of Winston Churchill, who was considered their hero for the war. But Winston Churchill was just as racist as all of the others. The only thing is that slavery was abolished before his time. And you know, listen, again, I'm going to address this on Monday. I want to open up the lines now. I'm going to address this on Monday. But there are patterns, there are certain patterns that no one is going to talk about. Patterns of responses. One of the patterns is, it seems that most non-African people have something distracting to say about the idea of Black Lives Matter. But I've noticed in particular, my East Indian brothers and sisters seem to always have some stone to throw. I mean, if it's not all lives matter, it's, well, Africans sold other Africans into slavery. Well, look, Africans killing other Africans. Always some distraction away from the idea of Black Lives Matter. Lord have mercy, I don't know how it's being interpreted as a political thing. It's like we're incapable of interpreting any kind of social reality outside of the realm of politics. But there's so much coded language. And so now right here in Trinidad and Tobago, the mayor of Port of Spain is saying, okay, I have heard compelling arguments regarding the removal of the statue of Columbus. But he wants to hear both sides. I respect him for his broad-mindedness on the matter. However, what other sides? We've heard the other side for the last 400 years. We're now hearing our side. And this other side, what? Is someone going to come forth and say Columbus was a good man? We should not take down the statue? No, we've already heard that. What we're now confronting are the counter-arguments to that. So we're ready. Trust me, no one is going to come forth. Well, I shouldn't even say that, because some of these people might just come forth and say, no, leave the statue of Columbus, he was a hero. But we've already heard that side. Now it's time for this side. And even if we take down the statue of Columbus this morning, we'll still be, I mean, of course, I'll sing the praises of the authorities who took the decision, but we're still very late because so many statues of Columbus have already come down. It's like the Baden-Powell Street we have on the west side of Port of Spain. Baden-Powell, who was the founder of the Cub Scouts, he's another one up for consideration to be removed from London. And what the government did as well is that they took a decision to protect all the statues, to put casings around them while they're under consideration. So right now, the statue of Winston Churchill is protected. Statue of Robert Baden-Powell is protected. And so much more.
Let's talk on the street.
The official station that defends the nation.
This Saturday on Iwer Stage.
Yo, what up, friends? It's your boy Stargram here, and you see this coming Saturday, the 13th of June. It's all about yours truly, Ahmed Stargram, heading down to Iwer Stage. Yes, Iwer Stage for the first time ever Chutney Clash. You heard it, the first time ever Chutney Clash. Iwer Stage, that's this coming Saturday, the 13th of June. I'm going to be singing against my sister in the business, Kavita Rampis, the Chutney Empress. So we're going to be live from 8 p.m. on Facebook, Street 919 FM and 101.7 Facebook page. You all keep it locked. Don't you miss it. This coming Saturday from 8 p.m. Yours truly, Instagram, Kavita Rampis. See you.
Hey guys, this is Igil Kavita Ramkisoon, your Chutney Empress, and on Saturday, June 13th, I am coming to Iwer Stage on 919. We're having something called a Chutney Clash. And guess who I'm up against? Ahmed Stargram. That's my boy, you know. But you see, Saturday is no mercy. We're starting at 8, so don't be late. It's 2 Chutney Soca finalists ripping it up on one stage. The vibes real nice. Don't miss it, you know.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Get interactive with the Street 919 FM.
All day, every day. See us all live on our Facebook page.
Share and comment on our show.
Like our page.
Chat with our live on-air announcers.
The Street 919's Facebook page.
Live and interactive all day, every day. The Street 919 FM.
Come talk with us.
When it comes to healthcare, you deserve the best. Do you suffer from low energy, anxiety, or constipation? Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins provides you with the best services of iridology exam, blood analysis, ionic foot detox, followed by a soothing foot massage. We also provide the best organic supplements. We are located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barrataria. Or call us at 288-1108 or 275-8359. Join us on the Street 919 FM. Every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy.
Wow.
Here at Onia Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud. Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago, taking you further.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the 4th and 5th Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
We know the street because we talk to the street.
Come talk with us on the Street 919 FM.
All right, so let me go straight to the phone lines. Our numbers in studio are 342-0081 and 466-5391. And of course, our landline is 622-3303. First call on the air. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Tell you still in, Brother David.
Walaikum salam, my brother. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing much better now.
Yes,
I'm doing much better because I tell you something. The other thing I knew would happen, bound to happen, but there's something that I never believed in my lifetime I'd have seen happen.
Well, we already have 2 things for 2020 already that we would have never imagined would have happened.
And the other one is that Obama, a black man in the White House.
No, I'm talking about for 2020. I'm talking about for this year.
What I'm saying in my lifetime.
Oh, in your lifetime.
These are things that I knew would happen. And some of them I've seen it happening. You understand? But Brother David, what is happening now? I hear some ignorant African people talking here in this country. You just have to leave them alone because it's speaking out of ignorancy. Where black people beating black people and all this kind of thing. They say an organized Africa, when Africa people come together, there are no nuclear weapon on this planet that can stop us. And we have seen it now, that what is taking place. But what happened to the others? They're getting scared and they're frightened because they see now we are organizing ourselves, you understand? And the world are recognizing, you understand, the injustice and the wrong that was done to us. And they know that, you understand, is a change, you understand, the whole attitude towards African people, our contribution in this world. Because what has happened? Remember that our ancestors, they were kidnapped, you understand, and brought out of Africa, you know, to Colston and all these people, and Robert Lee and all these people, and you understand, they were kidnapped and brought, and their labor, you understand, were looted out of them for nothing, you understand. And what we are seeing today, as I said before, this is a continuation of the relay. This is George Padmore, Sylvester Clark, Eric William, Kwame Ture, Malcolm X, all these strugglers who started this race. You understand? This is the pinnacle of it, the final point of it here, because this race started long ago. In the Oklahoma, you understand, the Red Summer, you understand, 1919, Oklahoma 1921, all this is part of it. Malcolm X, you understand, Huey Newton, yourself, Farrakhan. Let me tell you something. There are two things I always speak about where you are concerned and the Minister Farrakhan is concerned. One is, the Minister always say, you can't handle the truth. And you always say to think, you understand? And thinking is a see thing. Let me tell you something, by the way. I have learned something that all through my life I never think about it. And many thousands and millions haven't learned about it. What I saw our brothers speak about the lion being the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
We do that from school, and we grow with that. But lion can't live in the jungle. A lion dead in the jungle. He lives on the prairie. All the animal eats is on the prairie. But we went to school believing that, but that's what we were taught. Another thing, Brother David, is that slavery. You understand? Captain Hawkins and his good ship Jesus. I always keep saying, until we do get rid of the teachings that they give us in that book and think for ourselves, you understand? And learn to accept the truth, we will never be free. No, we have to get rid of that book. I remember going to school, we were beaten to learn catechism, you know. There was a schoolmate I met some time ago, and we talking about school days and things, elementary school days. And he said, but yeah, we used to call it, teacher was Philbert. You know the children nickname for teachers, we used to call them Big Head Philbert. You understand? And you know, he tell me, he said, boy, when I hear they do so, and they say catechism time, and Philbert called me up. He said, I pay myself. He said, pay himself, you know, when he don't know it, right? And when I think about it and think about the beating that they put in our ancestors to accept, you understand, their teaching and their God, you understand? But it's not easy what they go through. But this, they can't stop this because, you know, they stopped the movie Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
And Dumbo.
Right, and there's a recent series called Little Britain.
Yeah.
Right, and also Dam Busters. You remember the Dam Busters about the World War II fighter pilots?
No, I can't remember that one.
Right. That was a very, very popular movie. They still show it from time to time on that on TCM movie channel. Yeah, you know, where they use the N-word. But Little Britain apparently was a very successful. I never saw Little Britain, but they had blackface. You know, white people painting their faces black in it. So this is Netflix who are banning these. You know, Netflix banning them. HBO banned another series. Can't remember what it was, but they're reviewing all of it. Even the book Huckleberry Finn, which some of us may have read for English literature in school. Huckleberry Finn by
I know that book,
by Mark Twain. The book has been censored. It's been re-edited because apparently they use the N-word 100 and something times in that book.
Yeah. So this is what this
and
is.
They change. They're changing it.
Yeah, because you know, when you were in the school, you were singing and read a book. You understand? Read us about the tar baby and the rabbit and all this kind of thing. You know, they idolize the criminals and the murderers, Sir Walter Raleigh, Cap Drake, and all these people.
But hear this. I remember, I think it was a Saturday morning, that I said, it was one of the nighttime programs, where I said, I have something to read, but I don't know, my spirit isn't really feeling it right now, and I didn't read it, but I'm just might read it today, if not today, Monday. But it's a book that was in school called 10 Little Niggers.
I know that book.
You know that book?
Yeah. 10 Little Niggers.
10 Little Niggers. That was in the schools.
Yes.
And the thing is, the poem is like, it's not just the usage of the word, but it's the implications on the people whom they're referring to as 10 little niggers. And all of them end up dead. It is so... Listen, to think there are people alive today on planet Earth who would have read that book in school. In school.
Yeah. This is
and I wanted to read the poem, but I said, I'm not going to read that. But I just might read it somewhere.
You must do it.
I am.
It's the truth. As I say, we can't hide the truth. You
understand? It's shockingly offensive.
Before I go, I want to say also, the truth, I said one time, the truth of Mahatma will come out. Oh, gosh.
But that's another thing, because people are using Gandhi, because there's a statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Parliament Square in England as well, not too far from Winston Churchill's statue. And people are, so the British are trying to use this argument, well, Gandhi said racist things too, so should his statue come down? They're using that as a defense for Churchill. But listen, I have a list of quotes from Churchill, but one of Churchill's quotes was, I hate Indians. I hate Indians. That's what Churchill said. And there's a statue. But you see, maybe a lot of the Indian people don't know that, hence they're not joining on to the cause to get some of these statues removed. But he was notorious. And Gandhi has said some outlandishly, notoriously racist things against African people. As a matter of fact, Gandhi's struggles in South Africa, he overtly excluded interest in African people from justice. But again, that is part of the history of Gandhi that is whitewashed.
That is why the Zulu say they will never forget him. And the Tamils in India, over 300 million Africans there, he never seen nothing about the treatment of them, Brother David. I mean, the other colors of the community, it has much to say about this.
Yeah.
Let's see, until, keep good.
Yes, sir. Thank you. 3420081 4665391. And there's so much, okay, so what about this one and what about that one? And if this one statue should come down, then what about this other one who said something similar to them? And then there's this view, well, no one's perfect, everyone makes mistakes, so if you take down one person's statue, you're going down the slippery slope, you'll have to end up taking down just about everyone's statue. But like I said, I'm going to make a point on that in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to do a very, 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 very short editorial, and just for the sole purpose of making that point. Caller, good morning. Caller, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yes.
You have to listen through the phone and not the radio.
All right, I listen to this one.
Right.
Right. Yes, I was here, we were talking about the black people and things, but, that's how we're saying, but we need to be able to support the Indians so much, and the Indians support me so much with we apartments and things, with we guest house and things. So, I find if we just come down the Indian, when we leave to the Trinidad to buy part of the Indian, we're going by. So, all that we is one man, just the politician is when election time come, we'll be hearing about. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, but I'm confused.
okay, it when election in the air,
right?
We don't hear all this racist things. But our election thing, you find that you hardly hear it.
But I'm assuming you're talking about Trinidad and Tobago elections, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
let me ask you. As far as you're concerned, does the global anti-racism demonstrations and the Black Lives Matter movement have anything to do with the Trinidad and Tobago elections?
If you have anything to do with Trinidad and Tobago elections?
You said that these racial perspectives only come up around election time. But these perspectives are centered around the Black Lives Matter movement and the global anti-racism protests. So I'm asking you if, in your view, that those have anything to do with the election.
You don't think so?
No, I'm asking you a question.
No, what I'm saying, I only hear that around election in Trinidad and Tobago when election time coming.
Are you serious, though? Okay, election comes once every 5 years. So you're saying that only once every 5 years you hear those kinds of sentiments?
Okay, the heavy criticism about racists. No,
you only hear that around election.
No, the thing that what happened with the guy in Away, well, that sparked a lot, you know. But
I think I know where you're coming from because you do you own hold on no I'm not empathizing with you. I'm just saying I think I understand where you come from. But do you own a guest house or something?
No, but we just no, I don't own a guest house, but we just affording in different things. Like when we come with a sell thing to them and just buy with food and
okay, right. Thing. So you have Indian customers for your business.
Both black and
right. Okay. So what you're saying basically is that because of the individual support that you get in your business, that we should turn a blind eye to the reality of no. Okay. All right. All right. Just checking. I wish you all the best in your business
I listen to you.
And to be honest, brother, I will say, go strong, go brave. Because we even have a slogan among us. Sell to everyone, but buy from our own. You understand? So I'm supporting you in that, brother. All right?
Yes.
I'm not against you. But we can't be naive about the situation, though. But I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. All the best to you.
And I understand you want to take the center.
All right, my brother. Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Hope I meet you one day. Good morning, caller.
Greetings.
Greetings to you.
Now, what has happened there? That gentleman has flattened you, sir. He has taken the air from your balloon. What you said at the beginning, too, sir, you said all Indians. You know, what you should have done when you said all Indians.
No, I could have never said all Indians.
Right,
never.
Let me explain a short part and you come in because the phone doesn't have that much right now. I have to go to the
you
shop.
can't start off with a wrong premise like that and expect me to just...
All right, what I am saying, if I misheard you or I'm hearing wrong, what you should have done, I believe you should qualify some Indians because I'm in full support. I listen to your program every day, Dr. Mohammed. Every time you speak, I listen to you. But
I appreciate that, but I definitely did not say all Indians. Come on.
All right. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. But I see you shake your hand and thank you for that. Now, that gentleman, he spoke very well, sir. Let us live as one.
Of course. Absolutely. I congratulated him for his sharpness as it pertains to his business.
Yes, all Africans can unite in different countries here to and be stronger. When you put together the Indians and the Africans, it's a different kettle of fish altogether. So we will be so strong. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed.
All right, thank you very much. But you make a statement there that, again, is a little bit off because you say when the Africans and the Indians come together. Bear in mind, beloved, the Indians are already together. It's just us who are not together. So we have to get together within self first, and then we can get together with anyone. But we can't, as a fragmented, divided, disunited group who are always at each other's throats, like crabs in a barrel, pulling one another down, pulling each other back. We're not in a position to get together with other people until we first get together with ourselves. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning to my brother David Mohammed.
How are you doing, sir?
Well, after God, I'm well, and I'm listening to all who want to push all kind of thing against us.
Yes, sir.
In Trinidad, let me talk it plain in Trinidad. It are no Indian and no African together. That's just a hope. That's just a saying. But it is very, when Kamala Prasad disaster could attack the African people in that manner, with the state of emergency, you tell me what love you're talking about, we together and all kind of stupid talk. You understand? The African will catch themselves. Long they don't catch themselves, long they don't get together like how taking place in the world here now.
Oh, all right. I just wanted you to clarify that, what you meant by catch ourselves. You mean we have to get ourselves together. Exactly.
To get together, catch ourselves, get together.
All this talk about one race uniting with another race, but if one race is already united within themselves, and the other race is not united within themselves, then they have to unite within themselves first before the two races can unite.
But that's what the Bible tells us, you know. Put your house in order first.
Basic
If
principles
your house
of
is not in order, how could I go and say I helping the Indians and them when the house already in order? You understand? I just say, I sit and I sit all and always say, is that the system of the world is to keep the African enslaved, you know. Bob Marley tell us that, you know. Mental slavery, you know. They release the shackles from our hands and feet. But our mind is what they have it. Because when I say a little sister now leave school, she go to school, she passes and things, and you have to go and do watchman work, security work. So we work millions of dollars. Now I take in my life to go and sit down in the night, in a 4x4 square place, to sit down to watch your millions of dollars while you in your home sleeping comfortable, you and your wife and the children them. You tell me, I say from young, I watch no part of that.
Yeah.
I'm not watching nobody's business. That your business, $1 million business, you get up and go and watch it. And
thanks a lot.
You try, find something to do.
Yeah, thank you. Caller, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I am good, and you?
Great, thank you.
Give thanks. Yes, that person from Tobago.
Yeah, I understand him. Let's hear what. Let you and I agree to work with our brother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
We're working with our brother.
But
we understand him.
Yes, they're so painful to you when you know what's really happening, you know. Wasn't he there when Satmarad said that Tobagonian men are lazy and rapists? Why these people who come in and say that why don't they turn on to the Indian stations and hear how these people blatantly come out and say what they have to say? They don't make mixed matters. Put on the Indian station and hear how they think about you, you know. And that guy from Tobago, I would want to believe he has land to sell, and they are there trying to see how they can court him into getting something they want from him, and as soon as they get it, so he had better watch out.
You reminded me of a story which I might tell about our organization's security services were hired for a land dispute in Tobago. Okay. And when we went, this is a long time ago, about 15 years ago. And when we went and did the investigations, it turned out that the people who had solicited our services were in the wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
And we sided with those who were in the right.
Okay.
If you understand what I mean, because they tried to use us against us. But I want to thank you for calling, because we have a break coming up now. And then, like I said, a quick, swift editorial for 8 o'clock. Stay with
Talk
us.
your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us. The Street 919 FM.